High in the Andes, where condors carve shadows against the thin veil of clouds, their wings slicing through the crisp air like silent omens, a city sleeps upon the mountain ridge, cradled by peaks that pierce the heavens. To reach it, one must ascend through swirling mists that cling like spirits to the slopes, past cliffs that plummet into valleys green and endless, where rivers roar like the breath of ancient gods. When the Spanish came with steel and cross, their boots trampling the sacred soil of Tawantinsuyu, they never saw this place. Machu Picchu was left untouched, veiled by forest and silence, as if the mountain itself had sworn an oath to guard its secret, its stones cloaked in vines that whispered of forgotten rituals. For centuries, it remained hidden, a whisper on the lips of Quechua shepherds tending their llamas in the misty highlands, a myth that echoed through time like the faint toll of a bronze bell. Only in 1911, when Hiram Bingham, an explorer with a map and a hunger for discovery, stumbled upon the terraces and temples buried in moss and tangled roots, did the modern world rediscover what the Inca had once held sacred. Yet the rediscovery raised more questions than it answered, each stone a riddle etched in granite. Why was this city built so high, perched like an eagle's nest at 2,430 meters above the sea? Who lived here, their voices now lost to the wind that howls through the passes? And perhaps most unsettling, what lies beneath, in the unseen depths of the mountain's heart? The stones themselves seem alive, pulsing with the labor of hands long gone. Each block, perfectly cut and interlocked without mortar, fits so tightly that not even a blade of grass can slip between, resisting the passage of time and the Andes' frequent earthquakes with a defiance that feels almost supernatural. In their stillness, they speak of hands that knew geometry with uncanny precision, astronomy that mapped the stars' eternal dance, and a language of earth and sky we have only begun to decipher, like fragments of a sacred text half remembered. The Temple of the Sun curves like a serpent of stone, its walls polished to a sheen that catches the dawn's first light, aligning its windows with solstices so that on those sacred days, sunlight strikes the altars with surgical precision, as though the heavens themselves were taking part in the ritual, casting beams like golden threads across the altar's edge. At the Intihuatana stone, the so-called hitching post of the sun, shadows vanish at equinox, as if the Incas truly could tether the sun to ensure its return, a ritual act that bound their world to the cosmic order. The stone stands like a sentinel, its angles carved to mirror the mountain's contours, its surface warm under the touch of pilgrims who once knelt before it. Yet this mastery of nature hides something deeper, a purpose beyond architecture. Machu Picchu was not merely a retreat or a palace, it was a bridge between worlds, where the living could touch the divine, where the mortal and eternal met in a dialogue of stone and starlight. The Incas believed mountains were apus, living gods who guarded valleys and rivers, their rocky spines imbued with spiritual power that hummed beneath the soil. Here, surrounded by peaks that form the silhouette of a sleeping man when seen from the distant Urubamba Valley, they built Machu Picchu as if carving a shrine into the very spine of the earth, each terrace a prayer, each temple an offering. Some scholars believe it was the royal estate of Pachacuti, the great Inca emperor who expanded the empire into a realm of 10 million souls, his vision transforming a patchwork of tribes into a golden tapestry stretching from Chile to Ecuador. Others propose it was a sanctuary, a sacred retreat where chosen priests and priestesses, clad in woven alpaca cloaks dyed with cochineal red, lived apart, watching the stars through clear Andean nights and keeping sacred knowledge alive in chants and quipus, knotted cords that encoded histories. Some suggest it was a ceremonial center, where initiates performed rites to honor Inti, the sun god, their voices rising in Quechua hymns as coca leaves burned in braziers, their smoke curling toward the heavens. But the mystery persists. If Machu Picchu was so vital, why did the Inca leave it behind, its plazas deserted, its altars cold? Was it abandoned in haste as the empire crumbled, or deliberately sealed as a final act of reverence, its gates hidden to protect its sanctity? In whispers passed down through Quechua villages, elders tell of sacred chambers beneath the stones, hidden vaults where mummies of kings once rested, their bodies wrapped in fine textiles and adorned with gold, preserved as eternal guardians. Legends speak of tunnels beneath the mountain, winding like serpents through the earth, guarded by curses and collapsing passages that swallow the unwary. Some archaeologists insist on sealed tombs beneath the Temple of the Sun, chambers detected by faint echoes in ground scans but left unopened, out of respect for the dead, or fear of what might be found, perhaps the wrath of the apus invoked by intrusion. The earth beneath Machu Picchu, like the city above, holds its silence stubbornly, its secrets locked in stone as unyielding as the mountains themselves. Ancient traditions remind us that hidden places often conceal divine judgment or forgotten truth. Sacred stories of the Hebrew people recall Jericho, whose walls fell at a divine command, its buried ruins whispering to later generations of its arrogance in defying the covenant. Tales of Babylon, once radiant with gold and gardens, describe a city brought low. Its palaces left as haunts for owls and jackals, a warning of pride's ruin. In other sacred narratives, peoples like Ford and Tamud carved homes into cliffs and mountains, believing their stone dwellings eternal, only to be swept away by a wind and a cry from the heavens, their grandeur reduced to dust. Could Machu Picchu, hidden in the Andes, be another echo of this pattern? A people who reached for the divine, building a city that kissed the sky, only to vanish, leaving their stone as testimony to both ambition and impermanence. The people of Israel once built their temple on Mount Zion, believing the mountain holy because the divine presence touched it, its stones a dwelling for the sacred. The Incas, in their own way, did the same, carving temples into mountaintops, aligning stone with sun and star, their chisels guided by a cosmology that saw no divide between earth and heaven. To them, Machu Picchu was not simply architecture, but covenant, a place where earth's body and heaven's spirit met, where priests offered coca and maize to the apus under starlit skies, their chants weaving human will with cosmic order. Yet, as we look upon it now, stripped of its priests and worshippers, we see only empty terraces and silent shrines, their once vibrant rituals faded like dye in the sun. The question lingers, what remains beneath these stones? Not only in the soil, but in the story they tell of human longing and divine mystery. Machu Picchu was a city born in whispers, hidden from eyes that might defile it, preserved by divine secrecy in a cloak of mist and jungle. Perhaps the secrets it hides beneath are not merely treasures of gold or tombs of kings, but truths about human destiny itself, that all greatness, even in stone, is fleeting unless it is rooted in something eternal. The Inca Empire, Tawantinsuyu, stretched like a golden tapestry across the spine of South America. From the sun-scorched deserts of Chile to the emerald canopy of Ecuador, binding together more than 70 peoples, each paying tribute to Cusco, the navel of the world, where the temple of the sun gleamed with gold leaf reflecting Inti's radiance. Roads cut through mountains like veins, their stone paths trodden by Shaski, swift messengers carrying quipus and royal decrees, and armies clad in woven armor, their spears tipped with obsidian. At its height, the Inca claimed their rule was the will of Inti, the sun god, and that their Sapa Inca, the divine king, was his living son, his throne a conduit to the heavens. But ancient wisdom whispers a warning. No empire, however radiant, is beyond the reach of ruin. Its glory as transient as the morning mist that clings to Machu Picchu's peaks. When the Spaniards came, their ships slicing through Caribbean waters like predators, they found the Inca not united, but fractured. A civil war between brothers, Atahualpa and Huascar, had torn the throne into two, their rivalry spilling blood across sacred valleys, a curse that weakened the empire's heart before foreign steel struck it. Francisco Pizarro and his men, fewer than 200, were a ragtag band of adventurers, yet they carried thunder in their muskets and an unseen conqueror in their breath, smallpox, which swept the Andes like a silent reaper, felling thousands before a single sword was drawn. By the time Pizarro seized Atahualpa at Cajamarca in 1532, binding the Sapa Inca in chains as his warriors fell under volleys of gunfire, the empire was already bleeding out, its cities emptying as disease and betrayal took their toll. Temples were looted, their golden idols melted into ingots for Spanish galleons. Cusco's sacred plazas were trampled by horses, its altars defiled. Yet Machu Picchu remained untouched, its terraces hidden in the clouds, its stones silent as the conquistadors' greed devoured the empire below. The Spaniards never found it, their maps blind to its existence, their torches never piercing the mists that guarded its gates. Was it divine providence, or the cunning of Inca priests who sealed its paths, that preserved this sanctuary? The temples and terraces endured while Cusco's golden walls were stripped bare, their silence a testament to a city chosen to outlast its creators. Why did the Incas abandon this city of the gods? Was it merely a royal estate, no longer needed after Pachacuti's death in 1471, its halls left empty as his successors turned to other palaces? Or was it deliberately concealed, a sacred refuge closed off when the empire fell, its entrances buried under landslides orchestrated by loyal hands, its secrets entrusted to the apus? Legends tell of tunnels stretching from Machu Picchu to Cusco, 120 kilometers away, passageways lined with gold, mummies, and sacred quipus, their knots encoding prophecies of a world undone. Spanish chroniclers, writing in candlelit scriptoriums, recorded tales of hidden chambers where the Incas stored their greatest treasures, swearing that beneath the Temple of the Sun, golden discs glowed in the dark, reflecting Inti's eternal light. Some believed the mummies of the Sapa Inca, kings who had once ruled as gods incarnate, were spirited away here, hidden from desecration in chambers sealed with stone. To disturb them would mean awakening the wrath of the apus, the mountain gods who punish hubris with quakes and storms, their presence felt in the rumble of distant avalanches. Archaeologists in the 20th century, wielding tools and ground-penetrating radar, reported sealed doors and cavities beneath the temple, their outlines faint but tantalizing, yet hesitation remains. To open them might be to break the covenant of the dead, to invite the mountain's judgment. Ancient traditions across culture speak of hidden treasures and sealed tombs, each with a divine warning. Sacred stories of the Hebrew people describe treasures of darkness, riches stored in secret places, promise to those who heed the divine will, yet caution that not all wealth is for mortal hands. Narratives of a great exodus tell of a ruler's treasures drowned in a parted sea, a reminder that wealth cannot save a people from judgment. Tales of rebellion recount a man swallowed by the earth along with his riches for defying sacred authority, his fate a parable of greed's peril. In Machu Picchu's hidden vaults, perhaps the same truth holds. The treasures beneath are not merely gold, but knowledge and power guarded by time and divine will, meant to remain untouched until the appointed hour. The stones themselves seem to whisper of mysteries deeper than treasure, their surfaces warm under the Andean sun, as if infused with the spirit of the apus. Beneath Machu Picchu lies not only soil, but a mountain alive with energy, its granite veins pulsing with the earth's heartbeat. Quechua shamans, their hands stained with coca and maize offerings, say the place is a chakra, a center of power where earth and sky converge, where the veil between worlds thins. The Incas believed in three realms, Hanan Pacha, the upper world of gods and stars where Inti's light reigned, Kai Pacha, the world of the living, where crops grew and rivers flowed, and Yuku Pacha, the underworld of ancestors and spirits where the dead whispered wisdom. Machu Picchu sits at the crossing point of these realms, its terraces descending like stairways into Uku Pacha's shadows, its temples rising to Hanan Pacha's light, uniting life, death, and eternity in a single stone city. Its layout mirrors the cosmos. The Temple of the Three Windows faces east to greet the rising sun, its openings framing the dawn like a cosmic eye. The Condor Temple, its stones carved to mimic the bird's spread wings, symbolizes the soul's flight to the heavens. What secrets hide beneath? Perhaps not gold, but the very architecture of belief. A city built as a map of the cosmos, its stones a codex of Inca faith. Even today, when explorers climb its terraces, their boots crunching on ancient paths worn smooth by priestly feet, they feel a strange awe, as though time itself holds its breath there, the air charged with the weight of unanswered questions. A modern Quechua guide, his eyes tracing the same peaks his ancestors revered, says standing at Machu Picchu is like standing at a doorway between worlds, where the past hums beneath the present. The stones feel too perfect, too eternal, to be only human, their precision suggesting a knowledge that predates the Inca, perhaps inherited from older cultures lost to the fog of prehistory. The Wari or Tiwanaku, whose own ruins whisper of star-aligned cities. Were the Inca merely builders? Or were they keepers of an ancient wisdom, a science of stone and sky handed down by civilizations whose names are dust? Sacred mountains echo this pattern across cultures. In Mesoamerica, the Maya built pyramids at Chichen Itza and Teotihuacan, their steps aligned with equinoxes, where shadows cast serpents slithering down stone at sacred moments, linking earth to celestial cycles. In biblical traditions, a prophet climbed a desert peak to receive tablets of law, the mountain trembling under divine presence. Another sacred narrative describes a temple on a holy hill, its stones a dwelling for the divine, its altar a bridge to eternity. Stories of a great flood tell of an ark resting on a mountain, a sign of salvation amid judgment. In other traditions, mountains are described as pegs holding the earth firm, their peaks bearing witness to creation's order. Machu Picchu, too, is a mountain shrine, not commanded by the god of Abraham, but by the apus of the Andes, who revealed themselves in sun and stone, their presence felt in the rustle of wind through sacred groves. The pattern is universal. Humanity ascends mountains to touch eternity, building altars where the mortal and divine converse. But Machu Picchu's silence also holds warning. The Inca, once masters of the Andes, their empire spanning 4,000 kilometers of rugged terrain, are gone. Their temples lie empty, their rituals erased, their Quechua tongue nearly swallowed by time, preserved only in the songs of scattered communities. Pride and power could not save them, nor did their secrets hidden in stone. Like the ancient tower builders whose ambition reached the heavens until divine will scattered their tongues, like the radiant city whose gardens hung like a dream before falling to ruin, like the cliff dwellers who carved homes into stone only to be erased by a divine cry. The Inca remind us that all human greatness is fragile, a flame that flickers briefly against the mountain's eternity. Machu Picchu's survival is itself a kind of message. While kingdoms rise and fall, some places are chosen by the divine hand to outlast time, to stand as sentinels of mysteries yet unresolved. At dawn, the clouds part and the first rays of sunlight fall upon the stone terraces of Machu Picchu, gilding the granite with a warmth that seems to awaken the city from its slumber. The air shimmers with silence, broken only by the cry of a condor wheeling high above, its shadow a fleeting glyph across the stones. In that instant, the city is not ruin but resurrection. The stones awaken, the shadows retreat, and the city seems alive once more, its plazas filled with the ghosts of priests chanting, weavers spinning alpaca wool, and astronomers charting the Pleiades' ascent. Yet still the question lingers, what secrets lie beneath, in the unseen chambers of the mountain's core? For centuries, seekers have come with spades, ground scanners, and dreams of glory, eager to pierce the mountain's silence. Some whisper of golden idols buried deep, their eyes of emerald glinting in the dark, of tunnels leading to underground sanctuaries where priests sealed prophecies in quipus, of mummified emperors resting in eternal vigil, their coca offerings untouched. Yet none of these secrets have been proven, the mountain guarding its oath with a stubbornness that defies dynamite and radar. It is as if Machu Picchu itself is a temple, not to be desecrated but contemplated, its silence a sermon louder than words. Its hidden chambers may not be meant for mortal hands, but for the eyes of heaven, their contents, a mystery that belongs to the apus and the stars. The Incas saw Machu Picchu as a bridge between worlds, its temples aligned with sacred peaks and solstices, forming a calendar of stone that marked the eternal dance of sun and star. To walk its terraces is to traverse a cosmic map, where each step echoes the rhythm of creation, the solstice sun igniting the temple of the sun, the equinox erasing shadows at the Intihuatana, the Milky Way mirrored in the Urubamba River below. Perhaps what lies beneath Machu Picchu is not treasure of gold, but treasure of knowledge, the wisdom of a people who lived in harmony with the cosmos, who saw no divide between soil and sky, between mortal and divine, their city a living prayer carved into the Andes' heart. Sacred traditions across cultures speak of mountains as more than stone. In one, a prophet ascended a peak to receive divine law, the mountain trembling with thunder. In another, a temple on a holy hill was the dwelling place of the sacred, its stones a covenant. In yet another, mountains stand firm like pegs, anchoring the earth's balance, their peaks witnesses to creation. Machu Picchu, too, is a mountain shrine, its stones a testament to the Inca's dialogue with Inti and the apus. But its silence also warns, the Inca, masters of an empire that rivaled Rome, are gone, their rituals lost, their voices faint. Like ancient cities that rose to heaven only to be scattered, or cliff dwellers erased by divine wrath. They remind us that human greatness is fragile, a sandcastle before the tide. And yet, perhaps this is the true secret. Machu Picchu was not meant to be eternal for the Incas alone. It was meant for us, hidden from conquistadors, concealed for centuries, unveiled only in the modern age, perhaps by divine will, so that all humanity could glimpse it, not as a throne of empire, but as a mirror of heaven. To look upon Machu Picchu is to remember that the universe is written in stone and star, and that even in ruin, beauty points beyond itself. Its terraces, glowing red at sunset, are a script of human longing. Its peaks, piercing the clouds, are a hymn to eternity. So what secrets hide beneath Machu Picchu? Perhaps not gold, nor tombs, nor lost treasures, but the story of humanity itself. Builders of temples, seekers of heaven, wanderers between dust and divinity. The mountain endures, its silence a sermon louder than empires. Machu Picchu is not only a ruin, it is a riddle. It is not only a city, it is a covenant. And its final secret is this: to reach higher, we must look deeper. For the true treasure lies not beneath the stones, but within the soul, where the eternal whispers to those who listen. As the sun sets over the Andes, the terraces glow like embers, and shadows lengthen like an ancient script across the stone. The city whispers once more, not in Quechua or Spanish, but in the universal language of silence. All empires fall, but the mountain remains. What we carve upon it is temporary, but what it teaches is eternal. A truth as enduring as the condor's flight, as vast as the stars that crown the Andean night.